Today, we are going to be talking about a vehicle that has sold more units than the Volkswagen Beetle. Everybody's seen it before. You may have even gotten into a fender bender with one. We're talking about the Toyota Corolla. The Toyota Corolla was initially released in 1966. After 4 years of development, it hit the market as an efficient, reliable family vehicle that would take you from here to there. Did exactly what a car needed to do. By this time the second generation came out, it was one of the most popular vehicles in the world. And if you drive down the streets, you can notice it still is today. The Corolla has been produced in over 15 different countries, and I've actually been fortunate enough to visit one of the plants in Blue Springs, Mississippi, where these vehicles are made. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through this 2016 11th gen Corolla and tell you some of the things that I like and don't like about it and what makes it a Corolla. Now, starting on the exterior, we can see that this Corolla has some really nice body lines. You can see we've got this one that runs across the top of the doors, and then we also have one that starts way down by the front wheels and then runs the length of the vehicle all the way around through the bumper. Gives it a nice sporty feel, especially on this Sport Edition. Now, with this being a sport model, we do get the nice S badge on the back, some alloy wheels, along with a nice little trunk wing. Coming up to the front now, you can see we also get some nice little black trim pieces here on the front, which gives this vehicle a nice, more aggressive, sporty feel to it. You also get some fog lights down here on the bottom. One thing that I will mention though is this classic silver paint, and maybe it's all of the paint on these Corollas, it chips really easily. Now, it is a sedan, it's lower to the ground, it's catching some more rocks, but this vehicle, being only a handful of years old, already has a lot of chips all over the front of it. Now, while the sport model does look better in my opinion than the base model, I still think that the vehicle in general is designed well. The styling is cohesive throughout from the front to the back. There's no weird design cues on the exterior that make you kind of question what in the world was going on, and the proportions of the vehicle are also very well done. Now, as we take a look under the hood, we'll come to see the power plant of this machine. It is a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, also found in the Lotus Elise, but just supercharged. Now, the 1966 Toyota Corolla had a 1.1 liter that produced 60 horsepower. This 1.8 liter, 132 horsepower. Now, you might be thinking, man, my blender's got more horsepower than that, but let me just tell you, the pairing of this engine with the CVT transmission that it has allows for a great driving experience. I might also add, sticking to the true Corolla nature, this engine right here gets between 29 and 37 miles per gallon, and if you really push it, you can get in the low 40s every day of the week. Now let's go ahead and give it a start. Now, as we move into the interior, specifically the passenger, you get some really nice features. You've got this nice infotainment screen right here with a handful of different buttons. You've got really nice climate controls. Again, the buttons feel really sturdy. I will say that these dials do feel a little bit chintzy. You can see that there's a little bit of wiggle here, but the overall clicks feel really nice. Now, as we move into the interior, I want to go through some of the features that are on this car and standard in a lot of Corollas. You can see we've got power windows, the driver's window being automatic. You can also see we've got some nice sporty bucket seats. These are the manual seats, but there are 8-way automatic adjustable. As we move to the steering wheel, you can see we've got a vast assortment of buttons between hanging up the phone, picking it up, the loud shouting man. I'm not really certain as to what he is for, but then we've also got the display button, which changes your multifunctional screen up in the dash. And then you've also got these buttons over here, which help to navigate you through the infotainment screen while driving. You also have the volume up and the volume down buttons. And you can also see back there behind the steering wheel are paddle shifters. Yes, this vehicle comes with paddle shifters, and I will say they are pretty crisp for a Corolla. Now, as I turn down Taylor Swift with the steering wheel controls and I move past the Prindle, there are two interesting buttons sitting down here by the cup holder, one of which is much more interesting than the other, the Sport Mode button. And the Sport Mode button basically alters the gearing ratio in the CVT, allowing you to get to those upper RPMs and stay in those upper RPMs. And if you look at a power curve, you'll see that horsepower is typically at its most in the upper RPM range, so you are accessing that higher power that the engine has to offer. I will note that there are two nice cup holders right here that will fit a standard size bottle. If you break out a 40-ouncer though, I will tell you it is not going to fit in either one of these, nor will it fit in the door. Now, in the back seat, you do have some really nice room. I'm 6'3", my knees aren't touching the seat in front of me. If it does get moved all the way back, I think it'll brush up just a little bit, but overall, very nice. I do get a nice little armrest here as well on the left-hand side. Feels ergonomically correct. We also have a nice little center armrest as well with dually cup holders right here, again just for a typical standard sized water bottle. You do have two more holders right here that'll also hold a water bottle or a drink of some sort. Overall, the materials feel good. It is a Corolla, and you know, they are shooting for an economy vehicle for the family, something that is affordable for everyone. So I think they have really nailed it here with this more of like a vinyl-y material, along with this nice cloth insert in the middle. On the back of the passenger seat, you also have a nice little pocket, unlike the driver's seat. Really good for storing umbrellas. We've got some books. Looks like, oh yeah, we got one of my favorites right here. We got The Fat Cat Sat on the Mat. Oh yeah, that's a solid read right there. Now, besides the storage space behind the passenger seat, you also get a plentiful amount of room in the trunk. We got some baseballs, volleyball back here, a couple of bags, and of course the emergency spoon if it is needed. Also, underneath this panel right here, you get a spare tire, which is really good. Just a donut, nothing full size, but that's good. I will note though that this light for the trunk it's quite pathetic. I do appreciate it being there and glowing when I need it, but in the darkness, it's not really useful. Now, this Corolla is 7 years old. It's got about 100,000 miles, and everything in the interior is holding up really well. There's no super loud creaks from these plastics, nor does anything feel loose or wiggly. The steering is really good. It handles really well. The suspension absorbs most road complications without any concern. I'll also say the seats are very comfortable. I've been on a lot of really long drives in this Corolla, and it has done my back and my bottom very well. These seats specifically, with them being the sport seats, hug my body, which is really nice, and that's sliding all over the place, so that is definitely a plus. Now, when it comes to the sport mode, we'll go ahead and engage that and give it a try right here. It's 5,000 RPMs. It's 5,000, so it's shifting us right at that 5,000 mark, which is really nice. And it gets along really quick. You can see how snappy that CVT is, and it really makes for those gear shifts to be really crisp. Even if we were to bump this down and use the paddle shifters, they shift really quick and nice as well too. Really responsive, so I like the feel of those. So there you have it, the Toyota Corolla. Now, I do want to mention there are a lot of other vehicles that fit into this segment. You've got the Jetta, you've got the Civic, of course, you've got the Mazda 3, the Elantra. Like, there are a ton of other vehicles that fall into this segment. But I wanted to highlight the Corolla because it's been doing it the longest. The Civic came out in '72, so it just followed after, but it has been doing what it does the longest, providing an efficient, affordable vehicle that is super reliable to the masses for over 50 plus years. So hats off to Toyota for continuing to do this and make a vehicle for this market. I think that they've done it really well. Yes, there's probably other vehicles out there that have more power, more standard features, maybe rides a little bit better. But overall, I really enjoy the Corolla. It checks all of my boxes, and I look forward to see what they can do in the future and what kind of competition there will be. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.